the White House. With all this latest one-way report, we are here to bring it to you straight and uncut. Hello, you guys. Welcome to Street Politics with Talessia. And today we have in the hot seat Shavar McFadden. He's out in, you said Queens, right? Queens, New York.
Yeah.
My little brother he's in a wheelchair, y'all. I'm so sorry. I have to tell him that I'm about to have somebody come out there and get him. He stays with me. You outside?
Yeah,
Okay. Sorry about that. My brother is handicapped, and I knew he was going to wait until I get ready to come on for somebody to come get him. So go ahead and tell the people a little bit about yourself while I get this situation together.
Okay, so hello, people. My name is Shavar McFadden. I'm from New York City. I'm from Queens, Far Rockaway to be exact. I pretty much was always into politics, like as a young man, trying to figure out the world and understanding why is things the way it is and why is people accepting it, stuff like that. So, as I got older, I wasn't really into politics when I was at the age to be able to vote at 18. That was, my first time voting for when it was Bush versus Kerry.
You said it was your first time voting. When? You got to be quiet.
When Bush and Kerry were going for the presidency.
Oh.
Yeah, when Bush was up for his re-election in 2004. That was my first time being able to cast a vote. And I was gonna vote, for Bush out of spite. I was gonna vote for him out of spite because it was like I didn't understand what was going on and people that I was around just kind of hated him. But I didn't know anything about any of those guys or anything about what was actually going on in politics. So I voted, what my conscience was and what I was registered to vote, which was Democrat, So that was my first time casting the vote. And I was happy about that because I knew from hearing that we were supposed to vote that I should cast the vote. And a lot of my peers at 18 and in the city, New York City, no one's really voting like that. So I was kind of happy about that and being that person to be able to tell others to, you should kind of, at least vote, even though we're doing what we're doing. You could kind of also participate in politics. So, that's where I also my first time in politics and where I kind of gradually, as I got older and also was kept trying to figure out the world, it just kind of grew and it made sense for me to switch my whole politics or not even switch, just grow into what I was always thinking on a more clear and conscious level.
Where you say you was originally from?
I'm from Far Rockaway.
Where is that at?
That's it's in Queens, and Queens is in New York City. So it's the boroughs, and then when you have your boroughs, there's sections in the boroughs. My neighborhood is one of the worst neighborhoods in the boroughs as far as just now, they're doing they were sold out to, developers and areas that I've seen since I was born in the local hospital here. I was always wondering, why is this not being developed properly and what's going on and stuff like that. So now in 2020, when things is being built rather fast and people of the community have no access or, even knows what's going on, but it is a Democrat-ran, city, but it's being sold out, and that's what it's always been.
So, are you in AOC district?
No, I'm not in AOC's district. She's in a district that's in another part of Queens, because Queens is the biggest borough as far as land mass. Mm-hmm. And the part of Queens she's in is connected to the Bronx. They share a lot of the same areas and territories and, for certain different things. So I didn't know that they even shared the district in that part of Queens with the Bronx until she was elected, actually.
So what do people say about her, in that district?
So
what are they saying? You from New York. What are they saying on the grounds?
So on the grounds, right? like, this is a very liberal city. I don't understand why, but on the grounds, she has a lot of socialist friends. And like when I was canvassing maybe a few years ago, I was canvassing as a Democrat to be able to, assist and learn at the same time. So, as I was canvassing, I realized I wasn't even included in anything. I'm knocking on people's doors and trying to get, them to be enlightened about what's going on in politics. And I realized I wasn't even included. So, I had to rethink and like, hold up, I'm not into this really. But the people, like, I was excited that she won because it was, some history. And before I really started looking into what she was pushing versus me, being mesmerized at the fact that she's a young girl that went from this way of living to now she's in politics, and she beat out someone who was, a Democrat. And I thought she was like one of the souped up Democrats that had conservative values, but she's not that person. So, what people feel about her, like my family and friends, they don't really know much about politics other than what they hear on the news. But I did make my little sister do like a little report on her when she did win, and she just know the basics. But as far as like local people that I deal with in Far Rockaway, this part of Queens, they don't really know too much, and it's kind of sad. And to have this conversation, people will start, looking away as, a conversation can develop. And, it's a disservice to themselves and myself as well as a person that kind of cares more than the people that, I would put myself on the line for.
Someone in the chat said, ask the guest if you know Antonio Tucker. He's running against, which I know him. Do you know who he is? Well, I'm pretty sure you know
Yes,
who he is.
I've seen him on Twitter, and that was the first place where I saw him. And I offer my help. I don't mind helping. Like, I'm not, I'm not out for. I understand that he need money and stuff like that, but I'm willing to help. Like, I offered, in his chats and his lives, and I mean, I'm not gonna overextend myself like a person that doesn't get, the first couple of times when you extend yourself and the person doesn't get it. So, I'm in Queens, and me and him, from me seeing him on Twitter, we're the same person. Not the same person, but we have the
Right.
same background. We're from the same, neighborhoods, and I also understand his past with, the criminal justice system. So, I offer my help, and I'm still willing to help because I get the more the merrier the people that actually knows what's going on. You know what I mean? I canvassed and tried to help people in Staten Island, and me helping people, I learned so much. And I also help people as far as like socialists before I understood what socialism was. Although I already was a conservative, and although I already voted for, Donald Trump. So it's like I was still willing to learn why these people is doing this and, trying to gain access. But I would definitely help Mr. Tucker because I understand exactly what's going on, and I appreciate it that we need more people like me and him, getting out there. I definitely do.
So I know when me and you talk, you say you're a conservative grassroots organizer. So could you explain like what that is and what exactly that you do?
So at heart, I'm a social worker, right? I believe in standing up to social injustices and actually working myself out of a job. Like, I don't, want to be a social worker to perpetuate social services on no spectrum, whether it's, giving welfare and, giving continuous perpetual help where, people are being billed unbeknownst to themselves and stuff like that. So me as a conservative, I believe in all of the family values, like I've always wanted to do what my grandfather did. He had 11 children, just my grandma that was married for 57 years. I've grown up, I always wanted to do that. Although I was exposed to a lot of negativity, I always kept my eye on the positivity, as far as like watching Cosby shows and stuff like that. It's like, hold on, I really believe in this type of way of living as far as like keeping the household the way it is and actually believing that I'll figure it out. We can.
Oh, well, hopefully he'll come back in because his speaker was going in and out. I'll remove him. If he come back in, I will just ask them. Since 2000, someone in the chat, when I was saying, my brother kind of interrupted me in the beginning. He was shot in the back, paralyzed this past summer, and I think he's about to come back in. And someone else in the chat was, since 2001 I got shot in the back, a T12. How about your brother? My brother's is a T6. It's actually came down some, so I think it's at a T10. I think it's at a T10, and he in extensive like treatment. So he just doing a lot of treatment. His treatment is not his injury is not forever. His spinal cord wasn't severed. I think it was kind of like nicked. So it's like a slow process. But he's in a lot of
Hello?
yeah. We can't see you on the screen, but we can hear you.
Hello?
I can hear you. We just can't see you. Can you see us?
Talessia.
Yeah.
Talessia.
We can hear you, but we can't hear you or see you.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, I don't. Just go out and come back in.
This is crazy.
I don't know what's going on with him. Hopefully get this technical difficulty on his end. Now, Ron, have you tried this thing called lion's mane? It's some type of mushroom. A couple of people were telling me about it, and it's supposed to help regrow your nerves, especially with people that has spinal cord injuries. So look into that. We're gonna try to bring him back. Oh, he's out. So hopefully he try to come back in. I will send him a message. Device disconnected. Oh, here. Hello?
Yeah, I apologize. Someone called me who I told to tune in. So they was calling me, so I was declining the call. I apologize.
Okay, no, it's fine. I thought it was some technical difficulties. So go back to what we were saying about your conservative grassroots. So what do you organize? Do you organize candidates or just people in your area to get them?
So as far as like candidates, right now someone by the name of Daniel Mao, he's running for the president of Queens, and right now I'm kind of his ace in the hole from what he said, and it's because of my connections to the people in certain communities in the Rockaways where I'm from. So I try to organize the people who need it the most, and people who I know once they see the actual changes like can take place, it will change things like that. And it's difficult because these people are not active at all, but when they have discussions, they're just grandfathered in as Democrats. And me always being a free thinker and a person that likes to tap into a lot of different information, I just try to relinquish the power of information. So I do candidates, but for the most part I like to do family and friends because that's the most challenging. And the candidates that I have canvassed with, they haven't been successful. So this person that I'm canvassing with and organizing with right now, he's running for the highest office in Queens, which is the president. And he's a Republican. You know, I was just in the Green Party for about 2 to 3 years after Obama's, presidency. And then as I joined, the Rockaway Republican Club, to be able to have people that's also thinking along the lines as I am, because, I like the odds. Like a lot of people, that think one way as far as group think. And, I'm not a person that's going to think the other way to be a thorn, but I'm not going to group think either because that's the popular thing to do. So right now I'm with someone who's, he's Asian, and I don't know his ethnicity or anything like that. I didn't ask that, but he's Asian and he's a Republican, and we had conversations, and I'm willing to help him. At the same time, I'm going to be learning, and I'm going to run for office in my area. But at the same time, all of this, me helping and organizing, I'm learning a lot. Like I don't, I like to learn, and once I run, I plan on winning. I'm not like I plan to, actually win. And I'm trying to find ways to fund my own campaign as well, so that way I won't have to, just lose and humbly just like be doing it, because I know people that's also doing that, and I don't like to be dormant, especially when. When you organize properly and you get people on the same page, you could kind of just flip things the way it's supposed to be.
I think people just think that they can just jump out here and run and that just be that, especially in the times that we are in, with a lot of people is not pleased with the Democratic Party, and most are Trump supporters, and they think that that is what's going to get them in the door, and that's just not the case. And a lot of people have lost. It's like they're campaigning off somebody else's back instead of doing their own campaign. It's okay to endorse like whoever you like or whatever, but you have to get out there and do the footwork. Like if you're not talking to the people that can check your name on the box at the ballot. And just to say with money, you can say AOC, she didn't have no money.
True.
She
That's
actually
true.
she actually went to the people and got her vote. She went directly to the people and got her vote without no money. The party didn't back her or nothing. They didn't believe in her ideas or anything, and she won. She won because she went to the people. I don't know why people. I think people put they too much into endorsements and TV time. Like you said, where you at, people don't even know AOC. And she's in the news cycle 3 or 4 times a week. So that just goes to show you, like, a lot of people is not watching TV. A lot of people are not on social media. And a lot of people don't care for the news. So if you think you just gonna run off tweeting and all this and saying this, you gonna be no,
Yeah, that's
no.
yeah. I'm not Talessia, I'm definitely not into that. And like you said, people are not on these networks where they paying attention to the people, that they probably should be paying attention to, or what the media is pushing. At the same time, those be the people, just being, in the peanut gallery saying stuff that they heard someone else regurgitate from somewhere else. And that be the part to me, that I step in, and I know they trust my judgment. I came from, a difficult place, and not a lot of people can pull themselves out of that. Antonio Tucker, like not a lot of people couldn't be able to do that. But I'm definitely, I've seen that. I've known someone who ran for everything that you could run for every year, and for the last 5 years, and he probably put 0% in the polls. And it's like, you're not doing it right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're aligning yourself with, standing in solidarity with all of these people that's against you and your people, the core thing to you, which is, you stand in solidarity with, let's say, for instance, with, the Me Too movement, for instance. They're out to get you, but you're not even doing that right. You know what I mean? So I differences with these people, not saying that I helped them out just because I helped them out, because once upon a time I believed and what they were pushing till I had to, stop being caught up in the fact that I like what they were doing and I see they have a chance. So, me, I'm not in a rush to run, so I'm cool with that. And I know that, as I elevate myself and do different things and put myself out there and get the exposure and actually talk to the people who are people who could check my name on the box, like you said, because a lot of people still not registered that's in my demographics in my neighborhood, and they kind of don't know what's going on a little bit, but for the most part, they really don't. Times when I see people saying things on, different avenues, especially on Twitter, I get where some people come from and understand where, the conscious level is to be at. So I will always lean to that.
Yeah, that's the main thing. And I tell people, even people that lose, I say when you lose, you have an advantage point because you can campaign again this whole time up until it's the next time to go again. And people don't do that. It's like they don't win and then they wait weeks and then it's like how you think you got to gain momentum. You got to get to know the people. You got to find out why the people didn't vote for you. Put some stuff up under your belt that make them okay, well, he has this, she has that. You know what I'm saying? Make them want to vote for you. I never seen all this running people thinking they're gonna get like they think it's sweet like it's a game and they all are seeing that that's
It's
not what it
crazy.
is.
I totally see that. That's why I wouldn't jump out the window like that, because I also, believe in, not wasting time, energy, and effort, and other people's time, energy, and effort, and money for that matter. So I wouldn't do it, unless I know I can, have a shot. And then after that shot and that momentum, of course, I would, continue it, because at the end of the day, power needs to be relinquished to the people who's represented by these districts, where these people is, running circles and running laps around the people they supposed to be representing. That's my whole message and thing, is to relinquish power to the people that needs it. And my thing as a social worker is to work myself out of a job. If I'm helping everyone to get out of certain circumstances and to be able to position and whatever that might be for them, they don't need the help of the government, the local government, and or people that don't really have their best interests at heart, which I do, because I care about my people. I care about all people. I care about my people a lot because they're like a real sensitive population. So as a person that's understanding these different movements like Black Lives Matter and all of that type of stuff, and from January this January 19 to 20, I lost a best friend, got killed in a car with another friend. He was in the streets, but it's like it was no Black Lives Matter. And me understanding both sides of the fence, I get that there's nothing on the wrong side, and it pains a bunch of people when things come to expected and it wasn't supposed to happen.
I think your mic going in and out.
But at the same time, it was another situation to where, Black lives don't really matter, because as, yeah, you can hear me?
We can hear you. It's like fading in and out.
Hello?
Okay, go ahead.
You can hear me?
Yeah, your
I don't
screen
know
just frozen, but we can hear you.
why. I don't know why. Hello?
We
You
can
can hear
hear
me?
you. Yeah, we can hear
Okay,
you.
cool. So like I was saying, right? Okay, so like I was saying, things happen. Huh? what I'm saying is that, you know, in July, my mom passed away, and, you know, don't matter. And then for, you know, me to come back from Georgia and my little cousin who's 21, like, you know, one of my grandfather's grandsons, you know, I take stuff like that seriously, but it's not much that I can do right now. And the groups that's supposed to be for us are acting like they're for us. I quickly figured out that they're not for. I had to, you know, immediately separate myself from that. And I just want to be able to get in a position to be able to relinquish the power to the people that are supposed to be. And that way, you know, people can be able to see for themselves that they can take control of that's dependent on federal government. Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened, what I was saying from January to January. And I'm definitely gonna stay on this side because I've been through all of the ringers of the other side. You know, I've dealt with you know, substance and drug abuse and all of those sorts of things, and criminal justice and all sorts of things, as far as like being a person that had horrible lived experiences as a Democrat, and understanding that, you know, nothing never was for me in that regard. So as well as my peoples, you know, that's why I just you know, briefly describe, you know, 3 close people to me that, you know, was, you know, pretty much killed, whether it was to drugs or violence. And, you know, it's not an ounce of anything, but at the same time, I'm not looking for that, because I don't like pity parties or parades.
Okay, we can. It was kind of going in and out at the end, but I heard it. But the thing is, with like, to me, with those certain type of groups, Black Lives Matters, is like, how can we rush? Like, okay, we just need to be serious on all crimes, not just specific crimes. You know what I'm saying? Not just specific crimes for when a white person do something to Black. Okay, we can address that too. Yes, we can talk about that, but we also need to be talking about what's going on. His thing is going in and out. Hopefully he'll come back in, but not just to be focused on one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's just unfair to anybody life that's lost in Black Lives. Like those, I just don't really care for those groups. Like, I'm not gonna be just specific like on one thing. If I'm gonna cover some, I'm gonna cover everything, not just when they do some to this and then turn a blind eye when something else happened. Can you hear me? His thing is coming back. I don't know what's going on with this thing, but you guys, I think we're gonna have to bring him back another day because he having technical difficulties with him coming in out the broadcast. But I want to thank him for coming in, and we definitely gonna have to bring him back because his thing is going in and out, and I think we owe him. He has a lot to say, and we just going to bring him back. Your thing is going in and out. You're now tuned in with Street Politics with Talessia, reporting from the streets to the White House.